Hello and welcome to today's topic. In this video, I'd like to discuss about things I learned from working. And ultimately, I learned that you should just go and make money. I've had a variety of jobs growing up. I've worked at, I've done gym kind of jobs like my university. I've done other office jobs at my university. I've done a little bit of IT stuff. I did food service stuff. I've done like delivery, working in restaurants, cooking. I've done fucking um hospital work. I've done like a little bit of office shit, and at the end of the day, I learned that it's mostly the same type of stuff. As long as you have managers and supervisors, the type of work could be different, but like as long as you have managers and supervisors, everything is kind of the same. You know, people are breathing down your neck and constantly, which is funny because they're all different types of work. And you think, oh, well, I'm going to leave this job to go to this job because it's a different type of job. But in reality, it's like literally the same thing in a different form. I think I think jobs are obviously about making money and not really making friends. Go to school to learn and graduate and move up in society. You don't go to school to make friends. Friends are little um, sort of byproducts. Some people go to school and they have no friends and they still end up successful in a school. Some people go to school and have a bunch of friends and they're failures. So same thing could be with work. You know, you can go there, be a social butterfly, which could lead, this leads to my next point, could ruin you because um I feel like if you talk too much, it could work against you. People, you might say some politically or some about someone else you work with, and they won't, you know, people are fake there, and then they'll just use it against you and tell the supervisor and get you in big trouble. Be careful what you share. It's all about making money at the end of the day. Everyone is an expendable asset at work, especially when robots come around decades later. Then things will be a lot more serious and severe. You know, you go there. I think you go there to just get income, to serve your life. You know, to serve society, to serve your family, and so that you can live, so that you can travel, and so that you can pay for your personal interests and hobbies, whatever the case may be. Um, you know, like I said, there are sellouts over there at work. Talking too much can and will backfire on you, even if you make jokes. Doesn't matter if you're joking or not. Not everyone is like you. You got young people who are very politically different than you. You got old people who are very politically different than you. Your coworkers view their job is more important than you, and you should view the same thing. Your job is more important than going there to make friends. You know, your job is to serve the purpose and the people you work for. If you don't believe in the ethics, then go find another fucking place to work. But people get fired and written up really easily. So, you go through an interview. It's funny because you go through an interview process, especially for high-end jobs, the orientation interviews, multiple interviews. It could take a month or even longer to get hired. And then they're like, oh, by the way, before you leave, put in your 2 weeks. Let us know when you're going to leave. But, it's like, in their perspective, like, 'cause it's inconsiderate if you just leave the company without any word, without any notice. Very inconsiderate of you. You know what's inconsiderate? The fact that people get fired without a 2 week notice. Sometimes it's justified. Really fucked up situations. Sometimes it's totally unjustified. But they'll still do it. So just go there, get your paper, and fly low key, quiet. That's one of my favorite lines in the movie Scarface when Frank was mentoring Tony in the club. Tony was just starting out in the business, and Frank was giving him advice, and he's like, the guys that last in this business, they fly low key, they're quiet. The guys that don't last, they're the ones that talk a lot. They want more and more and more. So I think that's just a theme, one theme of life, and one theme of working and making money. Like I said earlier, almost all jobs are the same. You got different types of work, but you're always going to be micromanaged. Even the people that are micromanaging you are being micromanaged. There's always a bigger fish. There's always um, a bigger position in power. Someone else that runs, and the person that really runs the show you don't even see. Um, Regarding all jobs being the same, like it's at the end of the day, it's all routine work. There's nothing new that happens at work. Everything is a routine. It's all a program. Maybe adding a little spices here and there, but every day is not new. Like every day is the same. And I learned like after a month or so of working, like I really pick up the routine, whatever job I'm at. Um, Now, we are human beings, and and our hormones drive us crazy sometimes, and we want to have fun and have sex and procreate, but I would advise against hooking up in the workplace. It could be easily accessible there. You could get hit on, um, but it could lead to a lot of drama, a lot of work drama. It could lead to you getting fired. It could lead to people hating you, being envious of you, your coworkers. We're like all the other animals, and all the other animals are basically like us. It's a battle for mating. It's a battle for being liked. It's a battle for um, it's it's a battle for territorial ground and status, and envy exists in all these animals, especially humans. Um, it can complicate a lot of things. You want to keep your personal life your personal life. You want to keep You don't want to mingle that with your work life. That is, it most of the time it does not work out. Like 9 times out of 10, it does not work out. You don't shit where you eat because it's filthy. You want to keep it professional. You want to make little jokes. You want to be the Terminator because then people are gonna be weirded out by your presence. You gotta have a sense of humor, but you can't be the clown. You know, I think you gotta have a good balance of communication with your coworkers, even though you might not like them. But you gotta have a good balance in communicating with them so that they don't just go to your supervisor and be like, "Hey, this person seems like they don't like us. They seem like we don't know what they're up to. Like it's just making us uncomfortable." You don't want to like make them feel like that, and you don't want to give up that vibe because when you do, they're gonna start working to replace your ass, and then when they're ready, they're gonna tell you to get the fuck out. One thing I learned about working, doesn't matter where you work. Um, my personal view is you don't overwork, but you don't underwork. What I've learned from me overworking or seeing other people overworking is you don't really get praise. It doesn't matter. Um, Maybe just a little verbal thank you, but like I've seen people who overworked at businesses, restaurants, whatever for like a long ass time, and then like maybe they just had one small falling out with the company or something happened. It could be a long time, and then like they were super like looked down upon, underappreciated. All that shit goes out the window. Relationship totally suffered, which is fucked up. But such is the way of business. It's all about making money. People that underwork get in trouble a lot more. But if you're right in the middle, I think you're in the sweet spot because you're not overexhausting yourself and you're not being criticized so much. And that's the key. You don't want to overexhaust yourself for especially in this economy that we're in, where people are working their asses off. People are working like multiple jobs, and the rate of the cost of living is going faster than the growth of wages. Gotta mind your expenses and how you work. Really gotta think about like not being so stressed out, especially at work, because over time, we all know stress kills. Stress kills. Stress leads to so many diseases, and yeah, who wouldn't want to live a long, healthy life? Always remember that you're an expendable asset. Don't kiss the company's ass because they'll see that. And I find like whenever you make mistakes, you're like criticized more than all the good things you've done. I don't know what it is. People just like, not just work, but just in general, people like really remember mistakes or like, uh, yeah, mistakes and falling out like overshadows all the good that you could have done. And then it takes some time to collect themselves. Maybe just a human flaw. I don't know. Um, it gets overlooked. You forget about all the good. It's overlooked by mistakes. And also another thing I noticed is like, um, if you're beautiful, you get hated on. Doesn't matter if you're a pretty girl, if you're a handsome guy, you will get hated on. That's the name of the game. It doesn't matter where you go, especially at work. People, if you're a handsome dude and there are other guys there, they're gonna hate you. It goes back to that whole fucking hooking up at work thing. Like, they see you as competition. You could be there just to fucking work, but their primal instinct as an animal will be to automatically see you as a target, as a threat. They could start talking shit about you to other girls and be like, hey, this guy's a fucking loser. Don't hook up with him, just so you know. But in their mind, it's an ego threat, self defense mechanism. That's a they problem. That's a they issue. But um, that's just something I noticed. All the pretty people get hated on the most, and it's fucked up. But you know, it is what it is. That's all I got for this. See y'all on the next one.